Hi there. Okay, I'm going to do some mini videos to help support you with working with the for loop. Here I have a program and I have a list. So we call this list actor leading role. And then I have these actors that are listed and they were nominated for a 2021 Oscar award. Okay, so what we're going to do is now create a for loop so that we can print out these names. So this is just one way of using the for loop, and it's just a nice way of iterating through a loop or through a list, sorry. And iterating just means we're going through one item at a time in the list. So this one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So when I say iterate, we're just going to go kind of just funnel through the list. So let's demonstrate that. So if I could say, I'm going to do for, that's to start the for loop, of course. Then we just come up with a variable name. We can just come up with this on the fly. Typically, it tends to be the singular version of whatever our list name is. So singular being because this variable will represent each individual item in our list. So for example, in this case, actor would make a lot of sense. So for actor in, so in is imperative for us to indicate, well, which list are we referring to? Because we could have more than one list. So we need to be specific. Well, we want you to be in the actor leading role list. Colon, so just like our if statements, we need to have the colon, and then when we hit enter, we have that indentation, which is a good sign, which means now everything underneath my for loop here is going to work. Okay, well, work. It's supposed to be under my for loop, and it's all contained. So what I'm going to do is just a simple print statement or print function, and let's just keep it simple. Let's call that variable actor, just so I can show you how it does iterate through. So if I just type in actor, and I were now to run this program, you'll see in my console here, maybe. Let's try that again. Oh, there we go. Just a little pause. And we have all the names listed. So everything in the list is now printed nicely, which is a better alternative to, let's say if I just want to print the list, let me just give you the, what the alternative would have been if I just printed the actual list in itself. For those of you who don't maybe remember what that looks like, this is kind of where you got the square brackets, you've got the quotation marks, and you have the commas. You know what I mean? It's not something we necessarily want. Okay, so now we've printed out the actors' names, and let me just rerun that so you just see just the actors' names. We could now bring in some of the formatting you have learned. So we've done F strings and dot format. In this example, I'll remind you of the F string. Very common and very simple to use. You just put in front of here is an F, then quotation mark. And then you'll want to make sure you have a quotation mark at the end, and whenever you're printing. And what's nice about using the F string is I can say something like, this actor was nominated for Best Actor in the Oscar Awards 2021, something like that. Okay. And then we just make a space, and then what we need to do is call in the variable. So by using F strings, I'm allowed to use curly braces, and I can just type in actor because that's the variable. So that's the variable name that is being assigned to every single now name in the list, and now it should spit out like this. So rather than just the names listed down in the console like we just had, now if I run it, I should have this printout for every time we call on the name. So let's try it. Let's take a look. So this actor was nominated for Best Actor, so you can see it, boom, 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 boom. And we have that printout for every single person, and it's assigned in that way. An alternative is, well, maybe I don't want the same sentence written out for every single item in my list. You could do things like, well, maybe I want that list I had previously, but maybe I just want a print statement earlier. So what I mean by all that is, let's get rid of all of this. Okay. And I just have just the actor printed, just like kind we had before. And it doesn't really matter if you have the F string here or not. I could just get rid of it and just put actor without the quotation marks, just like we had at the very beginning of all this. But that will work here just the way it is. So I'm just going to leave it. And let me create a new print statement outside the loop. So I pasted, let's say here. So what I can do is just put my quotation marks here. And maybe alter it now because it's going to be a list of things. We can say these actors were nominated for Best Actor in the Oscars, Oscar Awards 2021. So let's take a look at the difference when I have a print statement outside the for loop, so just prior to it. And then we have the list of our items that are going to come out, and we'll see how this can look nicely depending on what you're trying to do. So run for one, and there we go. All right, so I'll be demonstrating more for loop stuff in more videos.